Hello everyone, my name is Manny Da Silva. I'm a realtor with REMAX Niagara, and thank you very much for checking out this video. If this is the first time coming across me in this channel, I'm a realtor for the Niagara region. I serve the Niagara region, but this channel focuses on Welland Real Estate. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the city, what it's like to live in it, different areas, market reports, so on and so forth, take a poke around the channel, see if you like it. And if you do, then maybe you might want to consider subscribing to the channel because it's growing, and I would love to have you part of it. Also, I encourage everyone, please, because I'm trying to shape the type of material that I can share with you guys. Let me know in the comment section in a friendly way if I haven't drilled down in a specific topic, or if I can change one thing or another. I'd love to hear that feedback. It's really good to have. So please feel free to communicate. It's always good. I love conversation. So we're going to be talking about. The market stats. So we're going to take a look at some of the sales data, and I'm going to share with you January's numbers. Even though we're in February, I can't believe we're in February. I'm going to share with you January 2025 numbers versus December 24, and then we're going to take a look at January 25 versus January 24. I actually meant to share with you guys a video that reflected December's numbers. But after the Christmas holidays, once the dust had settled, I got my clients call me, and we were back in the saddle, and we were, getting deals done and looking for homes and stuff. So this is pretty cool. So midway through February, I'm like, I gotta carve out some time in order to do this, because this is getting a little bit too long without posting something. So here we are. All right. The Niagara Association of Realtors usually will publish these numbers, and they'll publish these four categories. So the benchmark price, the average days on market, the number of new listings, and the number of transactions, like sold units. And what they'll do is they'll take a detached bungalow, 3-bed, 2-bath, because that's the most common and most desirable property. And they'll give you the benchmark price for that. And then the remaining data set is based on all units that are underneath the residential umbrella. So that includes condos and semi-detached homes, 2 stories, all that stuff. So all that's there. So I'm going to try to mimic that. The only problem is the benchmark data for January hasn't been released yet. So in lieu of that, I'm going to use average pricing. That's not the best form, but I'm gonna use it. If you're wondering what's the difference between average and benchmark, what benchmark does is it clips out the highs and the lows and gives you a much more accurate representation of a property or neighborhood's values. Whereas with average, you might have these outliers that can move the needle in either direction. So for example, Prince Charles neighborhood, a lot of the homes sell between, say, 530 and 800, and you might have something, that month that sold for 1.1, or you might have something that sells for 350. So if the one that sold for 1.1 will move that average needle a little higher, and likewise with the one that sells for 350. They're not very common. They don't happen very often, but maybe for that month, 1 or 2 of those have been sold, so it moves that average needle. So it's not a very good representation of the area. So you got to clip those out so you can get a much more accurate number. Makes sense? All right. Let's start off with December 2024. The average price for a home in Welland, that detached bungalow, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, was $514,700, and it increased by 13.8% to $585,700. The average days on market for all residential units went from 61 to 72, so we saw an increase of 17.5%. And the number of new listings went from 73 to 170, so that was an increase of nearly 133%, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. And the total number of sales went from 54 to 55, so that was pretty even. Now, December, where the number of new listings drops because of Christmas. Everyone's in the Christmas holiday. I wouldn't say everyone, but most people are in the Christmas mode, and not a lot of activity happens, which some of my colleagues will decide to take vacation then, not me. And thankfully I actually had a client that really needed a house, and this is something that maybe I could share with you, but if you are at a point maybe next year where you need to sell your house and you're going, through November, December, January, some people will pull their house off the listing in December because they may not want people going through their house during the holidays, which is totally fair. But I just want to let you know, even though you have less traffic, the quality of traffic that comes through is going to be greater, because there are people that will need to find something and they'll work right through the holidays. Whereas some people, most people, I should say, will put the house shopping on pause and wait until, maybe the second week of January to get, back into in the swing of looking for places, which is a lot of my clients are doing right now. But one was moving from Nova Scotia to Welland. We were considering St. Catharines, showing them all sorts of different examples in both cities. So we worked through that December and January, and thankfully we found the place that was perfect for them. They're so happy, and I can't be happier for them. But yeah, so quality of shoppers that come through December, I would say, would be greater, even though you have less volume. So even though we're seeing an increase in listings, it's pretty much on par with November, because December dramatically slows down for the Christmas holidays. Now let's take a look at year over year. January 2024, the average price of a home in Welland was $509,857. That's an increase of 14.9%. In comparison to $585,700. And we take a look at the average days on market, was 42, and we've gone up to 72. So it's an increase of nearly 70% longer to sell the property. And then we're seeing that the number of new listings went from 163 to 170, so it's pretty even. It just was an increase of 4.3%. And the total number of sales went from 63 down 12.7% to 55. It seems as though that year over year there hasn't been too much of a change, and that actually reflected in December. When I looked at December's numbers year over year, there wasn't too much of a change. Actually, it was the prices for Welland went down by 0.2% year over year in December. But yeah, it's been pretty steady is what it seems like. And if you are considering buying a home, you're looking to either replace it or you're a first-time home buyer, there's a lot of opportunity for you. Really, there is. In Niagara region, there's over 3,200 units that are available. That's everything under the residential side. So that's including condos, which are down 11%, by the way. And if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that, let me know in the comment section below. We also have, semi-detached townhouses, 1.5 stories, 2 stories, everything that's underneath the residential umbrella. There's over 3,200 units that are available for you. So depending on what you're looking for, because there are some, I do have a client where they have a very narrow search criteria, so it's been a little bit difficult. But for most people, you do have a fairly decent variety of choices, and there are deals to be had. I'm putting together deals for my clients. I'm also putting in clauses in the offer, so that way I can help protect them. Home sellers are a little bit more flexible. So if you want a more pleasant home shopping experience, maybe you might want to consider taking a look. And if you haven't had anyone walk you through the steps of doing that, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I'd love to have the conversation with you and see what your current situation is and see how we can get you into a place. Leave some comments below, but you can also check out this next video over here if you want to learn a little bit more about Welland. Thank you so very much. Give me some feedback. It's always greatly appreciated. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.